Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Brian.
I'm Daneen, and we're with
FactoryDirectCraft.com. Yeah, Sherry's not here today. She is out and about, on the road, traveling, looking for deals, all that kind of stuff. So Daneen, just a few days off of surgery, decided to help out. So how are you feeling?
I've felt better, but I've had worse too. So, it is what it is.
So I appreciate Daneen coming in and helping me out with this. Otherwise,
just you and some
birds. And some birds, which we will get to. So, just a quick reminder: with it being Labor Day, we are closed. We're actually going to be closed tomorrow to give our employees an extra day off, an extra long weekend. As a lot of you guys know, fourth quarter is our absolute crazy time of the year. Usually, once we get past Labor Day, it's pretty hectic around here through the holidays.
Yeah, our last little break we get before the crazy storm.
Yeah. So we're going to be closed tomorrow just to give everyone an extra day off to get their energy back up, and then it's we're going to be busy.
So even though customer service is closed, we still will be answering emails. Brian and I are going to be doing it, but allow us a little extra time.
Yes.
We both have plans this weekend, but we are going to be answering emails.
Yeah. What are your plans? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Camping. You know, my happy place.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you guys? You guys are heading out somewhere?
We're going up to Sandusky to Maumee Bay Lodge and Resort, which is awesome. We went there last year, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, need to go check it out there sometime. But I know, as far as like the campground goes, it sells out so quick. So,
does it really?
People beg for spots there.
So how far in advance do you have to book it?
So the state of Ohio only lets you book 6 months in advance, and people.
Oh, is it a state?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to a KOA or something like that.
There is like a KOA or something near, and that one books up quick as well. But yeah, the state allows 6 months in advance, and people I know will like set their timers and stuff, reminders for different places or like the Halloween activities. And
Cool. Well, let us know where you're watching from. Yeah. Say hi so we know that you're watching. And we got anyone in the comments or anything, Nikki?
Yep, we've got Cliff saying,
of course we got Cliff.
Good morning.
Hi, Cliff.
And happy holidays.
Yeah, you too.
You as well, Cliff. Let's see. Go through my checklist here. Definitely want to know what you guys are working on. Make sure you're tagging us if you share anything. Usually Nikki will come across those if you have any projects, anything like that. If you're just sharing it to your own Facebook page, please tag us in it if you use any of our items.
Yeah, we love to see what people are doing.
Yeah, especially if you're recreating or using inspiration from like one of Nikki's craft posts, blog posts, things like that. Definitely tag us in it because we love seeing what you guys are using our products for. A lot of you guys will take some of our ideas we'll share out there and you'll run with them. I'm sure Nikki's probably seen.
Yes, we've seen a couple of them come through of redoing the projects that's been posted lately.
So I had a cool one yesterday. It wasn't one of your projects, but the woman said she was 72. She had a doll she had been given when she was 6.
Okay.
And she got one of our wigs to replace, because she said it was getting a little old and ratty, and she said it matched perfectly and the doll looked like brand new, and she was ecstatic. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that she was able to that's an old doll. So
Yeah.
the fact that she said she was 72, and she was 6 when she got it. So
that's awesome.
It was time for a new hairdo, I guess.
Something worth sharing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was really cool. So
looks like
absolutely.
We've got Michelle Lopez on.
Hi, Michelle.
Good morning, Michelle.
Michelle's a regular here.
Yeah. Her and Cliff.
Yep, that's right. And there's a lot of items that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on. It is that time of year when containers and trucks are arriving. So if you had been waiting on any of like the porcelain ornaments, they're here. If you've been waiting on grapevine, it's here. We do have a paper mache container on the water. It should be here. Our ETA right now is about the next 3.5 weeks or so.
And I know a lot of you are already on the list, so you'll be getting emails letting you know when they hit the docks.
Yeah. Well, a really popular item are those purple African violets. Those are back in. Last year they came in and they were a little wrong. They had like some yellow in the centers. So we had to relist them. They've still sold well, but people have been asking for these straight purple ones. They're in. They are available.
I've already seen a whole bunch of orders
So yeah,
for 'em.
that's how we know the waitlist email works.
Yeah.
Because there's items that people are asking for, and then as soon as they come in stock, we start seeing a bunch of orders
Yep.
for them. So, and if you didn't know that, if there's an item you're looking for that's out of stock, as long as it hasn't been discontinued, let us know. We can get you signed up for an email list, and it's literally the minute they are scanned into inventory, it'll send out those emails to you guys, letting you know that they are available and ready for purchase. So, Nikki, what have you been working on? Got any good, without spoilers? Any?
We've got a couple. I made a kind of a floral arrangement centerpiece. I did finish a crow candle stick display that is
It's
behind
kinda
you,
hidden.
which was
Oh.
super easy.
I'll bring it over here in a minute. We'll start.
Yeah, it
Getting
just
through
took a
that stuff.
couple. It just took a couple items: a candle stick, some moss, some screws, a hoop, and a crow and spider.
Awesome.
I think it maybe took me 15 minutes. So
That's
was
it?
Quite
That's
nice.
the best kind of craft there
Yes.
is.
Wow.
Yeah. So got a couple things in order, but I'm going to start kind of switching over to fall stuff
Yeah.
now.
Awesome. Yeah. Tis the season.
I know,
So-
it's crazy.
Looks like
Almost
we've got
September.
Charlene on here saying good morning. Nice
Good morning,
people.
Charlene.
Morning.
Let's see. Where are people watching from? Anyone putting where they're from? We know where Cliff's from. Cliff's
Cat
up in
on here.
Toledo.
We need our
we need our
weather.
weather report from Kat Stone. Kat, if you're on or if you join us,
Let us know what we can expect.
Please
Yeah.
no weather.
I have a
Not
feeling
this
she's
weekend.
going to say it's either hot or it's stormy. Cause
I don't know. We could really use the rain.
yeah. Let us know how the weather is by where you guys are. We got spoiled like a week ago. It was low
Perfect.
70s. It was getting to the 60s overnight. It was like almost like a false
It
fall.
was.
Almost it felt
Yeah.
great. And then this week it's been
It was like
a
100
heat index of
on
pushing 100, which
Wednesday.
I know some of you folks in Texas and Arizona that are probably laughing,
Used to.
saying we're a bunch of wimps because we're complaining about a 100-degree heat index. But for Ohio, that's hot. Like
Yeah.
it was hot enough that they, my sons had a soccer game canceled because the state just had no high school
Yeah, I
sports
saw
activities.
Two
and-
kids at one of the local high school had heat
Yeah,
issues
yeah,
after
heat issue,
practice
yeah.
last night.
Yep.
I know I've stepped outside the last couple of days and I'm like, nope, I can't. I'm done. This is
Yeah.
too much heat.
Yeah, like all week I'm like, I'm going to cut the grass at some point, and even I'm like, it's like 8:30. I'm like, it's still too gross
Still,
to cut
yeah,
the
yeah.
grass.
Uh-huh.
So,
Looks like we've got Colleen from Columbus, Ohio.
hi, Colleen. Columbus. So Colleen knows what we're talking about. It's probably hot in Columbus too. So,
Yeah, not too
Andrena's
far away.
on, saying good morning.
good morning, Andrina. If you haven't done so, make sure you go check out Lee Lexi Creations on Facebook. Andrina's awesome. She's done some cool stuff with our items, some unboxings. Her lives are great, so make sure you check her out and like and subscribe.
I think we have another craft from her that she will be doing next week, so keep a lookout for that, I think, on Wednesday.
Okay, awesome.
And then
Awesome.
Michelle Lopez says, hello from Indiana. Lots of rain up here and fog this morning. Last hot day and cools off tomorrow. Yippee!
Oh, good. Well, then
Hopefully.
hopefully.
That means
Hopefully, usually what Indiana has, we get
I was going to
shortly
say, I saw
after, so.
Saturday it may rain. It was
I
supposed to
hope
be.
we'll be going to Indiana this weekend.
Oh, you guys are?
Yeah, we're gonna go camping.
Yeah, it's like and we're gonna be up in Santa, so it's like it just gives me a nice weather through the weekend, and then if it wants to just
Pour
rain and pour
afterwards.
next week, bring it on. Bring it on. Yeah, I just saw Colleen just said so humid and hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, you're only about an hour and a half away from us, so we're feeling the same thing. So for this week's theme, and a reminder, if there's anything you guys want to see for a future episode, please let us know. If there's, we've done primitives, we've done wood cutouts, we've done paper mache. Those were all at your guys' request. So, kind of getting into maybe one last hurrah of fall kind of Halloween kind of stuff. We decided to go with artificial birds, but not just the normal stuff that you guys usually get. A lot of you guys buy the mushroom birds, the cardinals, the small doves, that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't know that we also carry a lot of these life-size birds. I was hoping they would have grabbed one of the 60-inch flamingos, but that would take up the entire display. So
Yeah, I mean, And they are very
Extremely realistic.
lifelike.
And they are made of real feathers.
To give you an idea of how large this guy is. Definitely a big one.
Yeah, so, it's like just a different kind of smattering. I think Adam wanted to put this one in. It is a life-size buzzard, which I didn't even know we sold these.
No?
So
Oh,
until I saw it on the display. Again, these are real feathers. And then they kind of have like the marabou feathers around the neck, hand-painted beak.
I know a lot of, we sell a lot of the birds like this to different stores they use in window displays and
we
things.
we sold them to museums and art installations. So here's Nikki's project she was talking about. Looks like it's just
it was a candlestick.
a candlestick. This is Spanish moss. And this is like one of the embroidery rings, and then two different crow and the spider. And she said this took like 15 minutes. So that is in one of her craft posts. Try not to knock stuff over. Life size. We actually sell.
Lots of crows.
There we go. We do sell a lot of crows. I mean, we actually sell a lot of these. Again, this is life size, real feathers. They're great for Halloween displays. They're great for dioramas. I'm going to set that down there because I'm not going to try to shove it back in there. And then if you guys can't see, we have these crow scarecrows with some jute rope that are hanging kind of on a swing. We have a couple different ones.
Those are great. You just put it on the door and it's done, ready.
You don't even have to. As a door hanger, hang it on a hook.
Great for all fall.
Yeah.
All autumn long, fall long. I don't know.
And they are, I believe they are assorted. So
yeah,
the pants and the shirts will be a little different. So, but they add some variety to it. Try not to knock this whole display over that Adam worked on. Then we have this little owl. This one is not feather. It's actually, well, there's some feather, but it's actually...
it's like fur.
Yeah, it's like a fur. There we go.
He's what, a snowy owl or something?
Something like
with
that.
White?
I
don't know my owls.
I'm not a bird guy. So I just know we have two great horned owls that nest in our backyard in a tree, and I hear them all summer long. All summer long. We go through, Nick had to step out. Make sure I don't want to miss anyone saying hello or anything. Let's see. Andrina said those birds are amazing. The crows will be popular, or whatever they're called. Yeah. Michelle Lopez says that is super cute crow. Can you post a link to the project? Yes, Nikki will absolutely post a link to that project. Let's see. All right. So again, let us know what you're working on. We need an idea for next week's theme.
Yeah,
so
give us an idea.
Actually, I think we have next week's planned out, but for the week after that. So we definitely need something. So we'll come up with something, but it's always more fun when you guys give us an idea. So
if there's anything you want to see, anything you're curious about, let us know. We'll get it all set up and ready to show off for you guys.
Absolutely. Let's see if anyone else. A lot of you guys watch. Let's say hi to some people that are watching. Hi, Connie. Hi, Francisco. Got Marlene is watching. Good morning. Andrina said Nicole is the best with those links. Absolutely, yeah. She'll post links to everything. So, and if you're watching on YouTube, because we stream on there as well, certainly let us know. Say hi. We want to make sure that those comments are coming through. I think we've had some issues with the YouTube comments. I'm not sure if it's an issue with the streaming software or what, but. We also have Aniston joining us in the room.
She likes to make a lot of noise.
It's all right. She's a kid. So, looks like Kim said good morning. Good morning, Kim. How are you doing today? Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody in here. Is this going to be one of those where you're going to ask me questions again? Or
yeah, I can come
Well,
up
you
with
told me that was the rule. I have stuff for you.
Yeah, it is because you're the one who normally asks the questions.
Yeah.
So, give me a minute to think about some.
Okay.
This was kind of a last minute me joining thing, so I haven't had time to think really about some questions.
Yeah.
I have not. No. I'm, at this point, absolutely convinced they are the last people in the state of Ohio to go back to school.
Yeah.
My youngest, so they do a staggered start. My youngest will go back on Wednesday, then oldest Thursday, then they will both go Friday, then the next
That
week.
is a late start.
Yeah. So the 4th will be Fenn's first day, then Asher the 5th, both the 6th.
Oh wow, yeah, my kids are already in their second week.
The neighborhood that we live in, all the kids that go to the school, our public school, they've almost been in for a month.
Yeah, they did start early.
Really? Yeah. So our kids are almost exactly, but we still get out at the same time.
Yeah. When did Adley start? When did she go back?
She started. Lord, it's almost a month.
Almost a month.
About 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just. Looks like Andrea said hers are in their fourth week too.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, last kids. Yeah, my kids they're just out in the neighborhood and playing around by themselves every day. Like.
Yeah, Aniston, she starts next week.
Yeah.
It's been hard because, like, of course, then all the summer camps have finished, everything. So there is nothing going on.
Well, then, how about this? Let me ask you, while you're thinking, I'll ask you a
Okay.
couple questions that are back to school related.
Ooh, back to school related. Okay.
What was your favorite subject in school?
History. I had the most amazing history teacher in middle school, Mr. Bowman. And he totally changed how and then from then on, like, I absolutely just loved history. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Least favorite subject in school?
Math.
Those are quick.
Yeah, no, math was never, my brain doesn't work in numbers like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just always kind of harder for me. So, yeah, math, not my fave.
And what was your favorite grade?
Oh, my favorite grade.
Was there one year, K through 12, or even college, that stuck out as...
My junior and senior year were really good. I did a specialized program where we spent 3 hours of every day, and it was called International Business Management.
Okay.
So we did, back then, old-fashioned accounting on ledgers and everything. And then my senior year, I was actually the first female president ever of the class. And
Awesome.
Last I heard, I was one of the only ones still. But it was really great, and it was fun. And, it counted for, like, my math and stuff, too, with the accounting. So I liked that.
Yeah.
So those were probably pretty good.
Good.
2nd grade, I can tell you, was not a good year. 6th grade, not a good year.
You remember
Right.
your 2nd year?
Oh, yes.
Second grade
I
year?
remember my 2nd grade year. Yeah, that's how great it was. I had an old school teacher.
Yeah.
So it was kind of different and a little rough.
I had one of those first grade kids, like one of those
She
old
had
ladies
polio.
that... Oh, wow.
She had polio as a kid. And so, yeah, that's not why at all she was mean. But I just remember that was one of the things that really stood out because it wasn't common to see anything
Right.
like that. So,
Yeah.
but no, I don't know. I always kind of enjoyed school. I mean, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So. But high school years were probably the best for me.
Okay.
What about you? I'll ask you about you.
All right.
You're great.
Favorite subject? I mean, I'd put history in there as well.
Well, you were a history major.
I was a history major, so...
So that makes sense.
I mean, that was... So actually, my answers are the same as yours for the first two. And history was my favorite subject, and then in college, one of the great things about being a history major is it kept me as far away from math as possible. So I had to take one... I'm not even going to say it was a college-level math class, but I had to take 3 credit hours of math.
Yeah.
So I actually started out as a graphic design major at UD.
Which I would assume needs a little math.
No. I just realized I didn't.
Or
the art program
geometry
wasn't
for you.
what I was expecting it to be. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. So I switched to history, and because originally my original plan was to do history and pre-law and go into law school, and then I got an idea of what the job market is like, at least in the mid 2000s for. How competitive it was for how many people were getting law degrees and how few jobs there were. Like I talked to a lawyer and he was like, well, let me tell you this. He goes, I posted an entry-level legal, for legal clerk. He goes, I got 6,000 resumes for one position. And every one of them passed the bar exam, so they're all qualified. And I was like, well, how did you sort through? He goes, first 10 that came on the top of the pile, I threw out the rest, and that's who I interviewed. And I'm like, and then I was like, sitting, I'm like, oh, do I want $250,000 in student loans for something like? So I abandoned that. But and the other thing with history though is my guidance counselor was like, well, you only have to take one semester, 3 credit hours of math, and it can be any math.
Sold.
Yep.
So I actually apologized to my dad for this class. My dad was a CPA, so he's very math, and I apologized because I'm like, I'm sorry you're paying for me to take this class. It was called Introduction to Math Concepts. And I'm sitting here my sophomore year of college, and we walk in, me and one of my roommates, Andy, we're in the same class because he was an English major, so he only had to take a semester of math too, so we're like, we're going to take the easiest one. So the first day of class, the professor says, if you're a freshman, you have to be here every day. If you're a sophomore or older, I will just tell you when the tests are, and as long as you're here for that, I won't take attendance for you. I'm like, already a good start. So the first math lesson she showed us, she's like, everyone put up this hand. Everyone put up this hand. And pretend there's an invisible line between them. If you put them together, do you see how they're the same? She goes, that's called symmetry. And I'm sitting there thinking, I immediately guilt fell over me. Like, I can't believe my parents are paying for me in a private college to take this math class. But I told my dad, and I was like, well, get an A and I don't care.
As long as you pass, it's fine.
Get your credit hours you need for your degree, and my mom's like, we knew you weren't going to do anything with math from the time you were young.
Yeah.
So that was the history math thing. Favorite grade?
Or favorite, most influential teacher, too?
It was probably my freshman year of college. I'd never liked school a whole lot growing up. High school was fun. I enjoyed most of high school, but I think my freshman year of college, because I still have a few friends from high school that I keep in touch with, but my core group of friends are all the guys I met my freshman year.
Yeah.
So including your husband, who I met my freshman year as well. So there's a whole group of us that are still really tight to this day. Text and talk almost daily. So there wasn't one year that stuck it out academically, this, I loved this year. Socially and personally, my freshman year of college probably was probably the best because for that reason. So yeah.
Okay.
Michelle Lopez is laughing at me. The math thing. I laugh too. So
I know your wife is crafty.
Yes.
She working on any stuff for the holidays or Christmas or anything already?
She's been really busy lately with. A couple years ago, she got this Cricut hand heat press thing to do T-shirts and stuff like that. Yeah. And then she started having people asking her coworkers and stuff oh, can you make us faculty shirts for Spirit Week? Cool. So and she realized that the Cricut press wasn't quite up to snuff. So for Christmas I got her this big 14 by 14 professional heat press, and it's got attachments to do mugs and hats and all that stuff. So she's been busy, and there's a company that she orders designs from, but instead of being just heat transfer vinyl, they're actually you put on it actually sublimates it into the shirt.
Oh. Huh.
So it's almost like silk screening without having to do all the ink. So she's been doing stuff like that.
I'm sure she's very popular with all the other cheer moms and stuff then.
Well, yeah, or even sports moms, because she'll make Carlisle soccer mom shirts with custom designs, and people are where did you get that? Yeah. And she's like, can you make me one? So she's been busy with that kind of stuff. She does resin tumblers and stuff like that with glitter. So she's got some of those cup turner things, and so she does quite a few of those once in a while. A lot of stuff with pouring paints and alcohol inks, coasters and that kind of. She hasn't really started on any Christmas crafts other than she did before I knew that, Nikki, that you were doing the thing with the ghosts.
Oh yeah.
She was doing those too.
Oh really?
Yeah. She saw it on Pinterest.
Yeah.
But she did it different. She used because we used Mod Podge or whatever, or what'd you use?
It was for the plaque one, right?
When you did the ghost with the balloon and then they formed the shape.
Yeah, I think I used Mod Mod
Yeah, she used
Podge
so she
did
the
that.
one she saw she brushed that Aleene's Stiffy
Yes, and
fabric
that works
stiffener
great
on.
too.
Yeah, so she was doing that. She had candlesticks with balloons, and her and Maddie were draping all the cheesecloth over
It's
doing
messy,
all that. So
but it was
yeah,
fun.
it was. And then she, of course, while it was it was wet. If you know my wife, she had to sprinkle glitter on them.
Oh, yeah.
So
Of course.
there's iridescence every.
I was gonna say I always know when your guys'
My-
Christmas cards come. Like I need to like open it over the garbage
Yeah,
can because
yeah.
all that glitter.
There's glitter. Yeah, I have a wife and a daughter who everything is glitter.
Glitter.
Everything
Yeah.
is glitter.
I don't like glitter,
Oh.
but
I don't either.
Hello,
Kids do.
Gloria.
Hi, Gloria.
Welcome. So yeah, if you guys have any crafts that you're working on, anything you want to see, we definitely want to hear about it.
Yeah, like our Facebook page, share it with your friends. And again, I always remind it, because Facebook is Facebook. If Facebook ever goes down or is acting wonky, we also do simultaneously stream on YouTube as well. So you can interact and leave comments there. You can find past videos, projects. So again, anything you guys want to see, certainly let us know. Next week, I know we'll do something completely different than what we've done with any of these as far as items. But we
Nikki
still
will definitely be doing the links with the birds and everything. I know
Yes.
we've already had a couple
Yes.
requests for those.
Yep, and again, keep an eye out. There's a lot of new stuff coming in. More trucks and containers
Yeah.
coming in. I know we mentioned last week all those cornucopias came in. And a lot of paper mache is
Yep.
on the way because we've been getting a lot of people asking about that stuff. So beyond that, have a great long weekend. Oh, we got a comment real quick. Michelle said, I looked at some of your old projects and love the twine pumpkin one.
but
So-
kind of hard to see.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, again, all of Nikki's old projects, they're all in there. There are some that are longer, some that are done as like shorts. So make sure you check those out. And if you have any questions or hey, maybe there's an item that we've used in a past one that we don't have anymore, let us know. We can certainly come up with something probably comparable or a substitute. So we can pass that stuff on to Nikki and see what she thinks might work in place of that. And we'll get back to you guys. Everyone be safe this weekend. Enjoy the long weekend. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye.